We all feel like that sometimes, yes? We either get to the edge of something, we get to the very place, that space in our heart, in our understanding of ourselves, of the world, and something's got to give, right? Something has to give. And it really does feel like we're in a free fall. Because anything that's familiar, anything that we might have grasped onto, might have been attached to, might have identified ourselves as being, we have to let go of it. We have to make a conscious choice. I love that song is, "Let me fall." I am choosing. I am saying I am ready for my next becoming. And the idea that our next becoming is what will catch us, is what will hold us, that we are our own answered prayer when we say yes. This is what faith is. This is what faith is as Unity understands faith. And so we are entering into this season of Advent, which in Unity we really love because we understand that it's all what is activated within ourselves. These are powers, these are abilities that we are saying yes to within ourselves. And the very foundational component of all spiritual growth and evolution is this idea of faith. And when we understand what faith truly is, which hopefully at the end of my talk you will have a better understanding of it, how Unity holds that, then it facilitates an awareness of peace because we're resting in what faith is and we can experience peace. And then from that peace, we're able to actually be the harmonizing love. We are actually able to show up as love and be love. And then it just becomes joy. Life is joy. And what ultimately reveals itself is our Christ nature, our Christ Buddha nature. So these next 4 weeks are a powerful opportunity to deepen. The nights are getting longer. It's an opportunity to get a little quieter, even in the midst of the hecticness that is the holiday season, and to really focus each week upon activating these qualities, these divine understandings within yourself, so that as the Christmas unfolds, the Christness unfolds as who you are, that you are birthing who you are becoming, and that will guide you into the new year. So probably one of the most famous quotes about faith is from Hebrews 11. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And for most of us, we have always confused faith with hope. We think that faith and hope are the same thing, but they're not. Hope is the precursor to faith. Hope is that seed, the very beginning seed where we hope. You'll notice, what does it say faith is? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's not hope itself. It is the substance of the thing that we are actually manifesting in time and in space. Faith is the power, the capacity that we have to actually create our experience, which is what we believe is happening here in Unity. And as Ken so beautifully said, and as we so beautifully illustrate with our wreath, when we are operating from faith, we are dealing in the realm of the invisible. We are dealing with the realm where we know that there is something greater than anything we can actually imagine, and we don't actually see it. But it's still rock solid in our understanding. It is something that we are anchored in. Truth, love, grace, beauty, harmony, wholeness, creativity, joy, all of this is what we actually say, I am a place for faith. I am the living expression of faith. So how Eric Butterworth might describe it, and I've paraphrased him here, is that it's our spiritual capacity through which we form and shape the very substance of all that there is. The very isness that is life itself. Faith is the power that we have to actually activate it and shape it and mold it. It is how we make the invisible visible. Really take that in. Can you feel how foundational faith is in terms of revealing the truth of our divinity fully? Because faith is actually a power. And guess what? You already have it. You're already using it. You're already activating it. The question is how? So the story that is probably one of the most famous illustrations in the Christian scriptures around faith is Peter, who is attempting to walk on the waters. And as he is attempting to walk on the waters, he steps out, and he is walking on the waters. And then all of a sudden, the winds arise. And what happens? He gets freaked out, and he starts to sink into the water. And he calls out to Jesus and says, "Yo, help! I'm sinking." And Jesus says to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Now, how many of us have been there? We step out, we're like, we're doing this, right? I'm doing this. I'm stepping out. I'm doing something new. I'm doing something challenging. And I know I got this. I know I got this. And we step out, and there's this moment where we can feel as if we're held. And then it all feels like it starts to cave away underneath us. Now, Charles Fillmore would call that the difference between intellectual faith and what I call embodied faith. So intellectual faith is where actually doubt can exist. Intellectual faith is where our mind sort of lives. Our intellectual faith is where we sort of, you know, when people, it's that hope. It's the idea that, oh, if I cross my fingers and I really wish really hard and I just have faith, that kind of faith. Well, guess what is exactly right on the other side of that? All those doubts. Oh, it'll never happen. All those little voices. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You think you can do that? Oh, no, that's for other people. Other people can do that, but not you. Other people can have that, but not you. You of little faith, why did you doubt? So our job, our role, is to move past that understanding of intellectual faith, to move past the mind understanding, because the mind is always going to come up with the ways it's not going to work out. The mind is always going to do that, and we don't need to shut it off completely. We don't need to ignore the genius that is the mind, that is our personality. But we also don't want it running the show, because if that's the case, then it's our fears that are in charge and not our faith. We want to live from that understanding that faith is what is guiding us, what is calling us forward. So we all have faith. We all use faith at every moment. So what is it that you actually have faith in? Really, truly. This is what I would love for you to sit with this week. What is it that you truly have faith in? So I'm sure most of you are familiar with the idea of the placebo effect. A placebo effect is where people get a sugar pill that actually has no beneficial qualities to it whatsoever, and yet people experience a positive experience from the placebo effect. There is also something called the nocebo effect. The nocebo effect is when people are given something completely harmless, like a sugar pill, and what they experience are horrific physiological responses. It works both ways. And there's a lot of work going on right now in terms of doctor-patient relationship. So the minute the doctor tells you all of the horrific side effects that the drug that you're about to take will give you, guess what? Even if you're taking the sugar pill, you get the side effects, which has nothing to do with the actual drug. It has to do with our understanding and how we actually truly do impact the experience that we are having in time and in space. So are you looking through the world through the nocebo effect? Are you looking for all the ways that things can go wrong? Are you looking for all the ways that it's not going to work out? Are you doing this in the idea that somehow you are being a wise skeptic? We do this. We somehow think that we're keeping ourselves safe, but we're not keeping ourselves safe. We're keeping ourselves small. We're keeping ourselves so small. So can you let yourself fall? Can you let yourself fall? Can you let go of what you think you understand? Can you let go of what is familiar? Can you let go of what everybody else has said? I will tell you that human race consciousness impacts all of us. All of us. There's these ideas that are out there floating around in the noosphere, in the human race consciousness, and they impact us. And the thing about human race consciousness is that it's mediocre. It's the average of everything. It's not the highs. It's not even the lows. It's that middle ground. You are so much more than average. You are so much more than that median line. What is available to you when you step out and activate your faith is that you literally can walk on water. It will look like you're walking on water to other people. And to you, what it is just you stepping out and knowing that the way rises up to meet us when we step out, activating our faith. Not in a wish, cross my fingers, maybe it'll happen, sort of hoping, sort of wishing. But when we deeply activate it, and we do that through our spiritual practice. We do that by sitting and meditating. We do that through the most powerful process that I have ever personally experienced of affirmative prayer. We do it by coming together in community like we are today. We do it by taking the time to notice what is actually happening. Where am I looking? Truly, what am I looking at this week? Am I looking at how crowded the streets are and how traffic is worse and how it's making me irritable? Or am I focused on the lights and the sun and the fact that there are so many wonderful, individualized, creative beings swarming around the streets, getting ready for the holidays? How do you hold the experience that is your life? You get to choose. It's neutral. It's a sugar pill. Are you going to take it as a placebo and embrace all the positive aspects of what's possible? Or are you going to make it a nocebo and double yourself over with pain and with suffering? So the pain happens. We all experience those moments, yes? Where something has just broken us open, where something tests our capacity to believe that good is actually operating in the world. There's that space within us that sort of goes, ah. And I have stood up here on this platform for numerous times over this past year as things have happened in the world and cried with you all because they test that capacity that we have to see past the appearance, to see to the very truth of love. That is what faith is. Faith is our capacity to keep looking, even when it seems so dark. Faith is our capacity to never stop looking for the good. And when we place our attention on it, it does grow in consciousness. It does show up. It is possible for us to see something deeper, bigger, larger, more powerful than the appearance that can be truly so devastating. The valleys that we experience in our life are not meant to be tests or trials. As Robert said at the very beginning of service, we don't believe in a God that is trying to make us suffer for anything. That's not our understanding here in Unity. We understand That those spaces and places where we get literally broken open again and again and again, and sometimes I'm like, really? Again? Oh, and each time I get to show up as more love. Each time I become a larger container of love, which means that I'm even stronger, which means that I'm anchoring something even more fully and more powerfully, because I'm not in this just for myself, folks. I'm here for the world. I'm here for the planet, because there's only one thing happening. So when we say yes, we literally are changing the world. Your dreams, your hopes that you feed with your faith, that you activate your faith, are not just yours. They are larger than just you. Can you feel the truth of that? So I want you to just remember, oh, I'm going the wrong way. Doesn't that happen sometimes? Those moments where we feel like we're broken open, that is an opportunity for us to have a more direct experience of the divine. That is all that moment is. An opportunity to know more love, an opportunity to grow more powerfully, an opportunity to step in more fully to the Christ nature that is the very truth of who we are. This is what we're meant to be. We are meant to walk out, walk on the waters. Whatever your waters are, they're different for each of us. Whatever it is that you feel that if you stepped off that boat, that the winds would swirl around you and that you would start to sink into the waves. Let go of the doubt. Know that truly everything is working for your greatest good. Even this, whatever this is, that somewhere in there is the thing that you are becoming. And in your becoming, in that moment that you let yourself fall and you let go of what you think you are, you will be transformed into that which you truly are. And you will literally walk upon the waves, and the winds will not harm you. It will be still. So let's take this into our time of meditation.